What's going on, everyone? So, one of the biggest needs now, more than ever, is a center, right? Lakers needed a center trade pre-trading Anthony Davis. Imagine what they need now. You probably need two centers at this point, but you got to at least get that starting caliber center. Jackson Hayes just isn't going to cut it. I don't hate the idea, and I've mentioned this before, even before this trade scenario, right, where we got Luka. I even talked about, I don't hate the idea of Trey Jamison. I don't necessarily like him as your secondary backup, right, as your main backup. I like him more as kind of like your third guy. You know, you have like different looks, right, and a guy like Trey Jamison, I just think gives you a different look. I absolutely not as your starter, but I don't hate the idea of like you go and get that starter and then Trey Jamison is just like your big physical presence. I think Luka and LeBron will make him look good, right? I think Luka in particular, right? Luka loves to have that kind of lob threat. I think Jamison would be that for the Lakers, give you that big physical presence, and even more so based on the recent reports that have came out as far as a center. So per Eric Steinery, the Los Angeles Lakers are pursuing hard for an athletic defensive big. And the two names he said to look out for are Robert Williams III and Nick Claxton. Go get Nick Claxton. We'll talk about Nick Claxton more in depth here in a moment. Nick Claxton is the answer. 25 years old, same age as Luka. Now you have those two guys for now in the future. But let's talk about Robert Williams. Robert Williams is ideal. Big, physical, strong, interior presence, can block shots, rebound, be a lob threat, everything, right? Robert Williams, you can make an argument as might even be the best out there, right? Problem is the guy can't stay healthy. And you're going to be short on centers already. Do you really want to take the gamble on a guy that can't give you more than 30 games a season? I think the Lakers personally should stay as far away from Robert Williams as possible, unless they're able, like if you can get, say, a Day'Ron Sharpe too, so you're like getting Robert Williams and then a Day'Ron Sharpe, then fine, because you kind of have that other guy just in case. Right? Like, sure, right? Because you can get both of them for essentially like $15 million in salary or $17 million, somewhere in that range, right? Like, okay, fine, sure. But if you're only looking to get just one guy, Robert Williams cannot be the answer, right? Robert Williams, again, he's had some monster games this season too in the games that he has played. But to kind of break him down, and then like I said, we'll break down Nick Claxton here in a moment. But looking at Robert Williams this season, he's played 17 games, only 17 games. Started in 3 of them, averaging 17.3 minutes per game. He is shooting from the field 65.1% because he doesn't really take any threes on 3.7 attempts. He is averaging 5.8 points, so we'll round up, will be nice, say 6 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and almost 2 blocks per game, 1.7, right? In 17 minutes of action, right? Like, the guy is a monster when he's healthy and on the basketball court. There's no ands, ifs, buts about it, no questions at all about it, right? You look at his per 36 numbers this season. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 1.3 steals, and 4 blocks per game, or just under 4 blocks per game. That's ridiculous. Again, if you told me, if you could jump in a time machine, be like, Tyler, jump in the time machine, Robert Williams, he's going to be healthy, he's going to play the rest of the season, be healthy come playoffs, fine, go get him. But we don't know that. And I just don't think the Lakers are in a position to take the risk on a guy like him. Obviously, Walker Kessler would still be my ideal scenario. I don't see it being realistic, if I'm being honest. But moving on to Nick Claxton, because I do think Nick Claxton, there is a genuine argument. Miles Turner, I still think makes some sense too. My only concern with Miles Turner is the rebounding, right? Gives you the floor spacing, gives you the defense, right? Ideally, I don't think you say no to Miles Turner. Don't get me wrong. I think if you get Miles Turner, beautiful. But I do worry about the rebounding with Miles Turner, right? You're going to have to be a lot more gang team rebounding, which Luka will get you, 7, 8 a game anyway. But just things to kind of keep in mind. But Nick Claxton, right? I think he is ideal. If the Lakers can pull this off, I think you do it, right? Talk about a guy, again, 25 years old. He is having a down year. He started off terrible. Like the season, he was like awfully bad. And he's starting to get back into being the guy that we know Nick Claxton to be. And he's really starting to come around. Also, offensively, he's had his struggles, but now he'd be playing alongside Luka and LeBron. He's probably giving you 12 a night, right? But So far this season, 42 games played. Also, last year he played 71. Year before that, he played 76. So things to keep in mind, right? Health. Again, if you're going to have a starter, you need a guy that can stay on the basketball court. He's played 42 games this season, started in 34 of them. He's averaging 26.4 minutes per game. He is shooting 54.4% from the field. 3-point range, it's 0.3 attempts, so it's not even half an attempt. So won't really get into that. But 2-point range, he's shooting 56.5% on 7.5 attempts. EFG of 54.5%. Free throw percentage is terrible, is atrocious, right? It's one of the things about Anthony Davis. He was good, except for in crunch time, right? Anthony Davis could not make a free throw in crunch when it mattered to save his life. But he's a career 55% or 54% free throw shooter. This season, he's shooting 53.5% from free throws. Not good. Not a good free throw shooter. Rebounds. He's averaging 7.5 rebounds and 9.9 points per game, along with 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1.2 blocks. This is a guy that the last 2 previous years averaged a steal and 2 to 2.5 blocks per game. This is a guy that can give you the defense and the interior presence, the floor running big, the athleticism, all the things that you need from a center perspective, especially slotted alongside Luka. Look at how good guys like Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively have been alongside Luka, because Luka likes that athletic big. He likes that lob threat that he can go to when he's cooking and doing his thing, and the guy comes over, collapse the defense and can throw it up to the lob. That's what Nick Claxton can do. You run the pick and roll with him, I think you're set. His per 36 numbers this season are 13.5 points with 10 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.3 steals, and 2 blocks. So again, he's a guy that can absolutely do some damage out there on the basketball court. It's $27 million, but here's the beauty of Nick Claxton. Every year, his contract drops, literally. So by the time his contract's over, he's only making like $20 million, right? And he'd still be young. He'd still be on the right side of 30. So even looking at his contract, he's a guy that, yes, you have to pay out a little more right now, but you automatically clear like $2.5 million off the book. So he's making this season $27.5 million. Next season, it's $25.3 million. The year after that, it's $23.1 million. And then when he's 28 years old in 2027, 2028, it'll be $20.9 million. So almost $21 million. Right? So you're talking about a guy that solves all your center problems, right? You could literally, if you wanted to, have a starting 5 of the 2 things I think the Lakers need. I should probably preference this first. 2 things that the Lakers need. I don't think the Lakers' trade targets have changed since trading Anthony Davis. What were the things we needed? Point of attack defense out on the perimeter and a center, right? I just think the priorities have swapped, right? I talked about how I thought the perimeter was the most important thing. Now I think it's the interior, because you literally don't have a center, right? At least now Jared Vanderbilt's back. You can count on him, Dorian Finney-Smith. I still think you need Bruce Brown, Lonzo, whomever, right? All the same point of attack, guards that we've talked about, and then go get that center. If the Lakers can go and do those 2 things, I think that they can be a contender. But I do think worst case scenario, if you get, say, a Nick Claxton, you could, if you had to, go Luka, Jared Vanderbilt, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Nick Claxton. Obviously, there'd be, people, when you look at that, go, well, what about the offense? Between Luka and LeBron, you have more than enough offense. You do. You have more than enough. Luka's made guys that are pedestrians and have done nothing, and like literally vet minimum guys and all that stuff look like stars, right? Luka's gotten some guys paid. Like, he's a guy that has built some careers already, right? He's going to make Nick Claxton will probably be, like I said, a 12 to 15 point a game guy because of Luka. LeBron James and Luka can both go drop 30 a night, right? Give you 30-point triple-doubles each. And then you have Dorian Finney-Smith, who's shooting 40% from three-point range, can defend. Jared Vanderbilt's the one, offensive liability. But again, he still can run the court, be a slasher, be a screen setter. You can make it work with him, right? But you need the defense. I don't like the idea of starting Austin Reeves, right? I think you should trade Reeves at this point. I really do. I think if you can turn him into something that makes more sense slotted alongside Luka, I think you do it. But if you are going to keep Reeves, I think he has to be your 6th man. I think he has to come off the bench because you're going to get torched. I mean, imagine the lack of defense with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves out there on the basketball court, right? Like, even if you have Dorian Finney-Smith slot alongside him, or even prime Jared, like fully healthy Jared Vanderbilt. Don't get me wrong, he can mask a lot. Can't make up for three guys. You need LeBron to basically buy in completely on the defensive side, which you might get because he'd have Luka to kind of handle the workload. So that's always a possibility, but it's going to be interesting. But look out for a center. Lakers are active and pushing hard, according to the reports, according to Evan Sinery, that they are pushing hard for a center trade. So look forward to that. But as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think, I guess, go get a center? Number one priority, number one importance. That's what you have to do. Do you think, no, go get perimeter guys. You can get away with Jackson Hayes or whomever. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.